This is KRMG Steve Berg reporting in the town of Tushka, which is about 5 miles or so south of the town of Atoka in Atoka County. Tushka was the scene of a tornado that swept through here last night. Did considerable damage to the entire town. Not a very large town, maybe 2 or 3 square miles or so. And the residents here, say the tornado made a direct hit on the main part of town, causing damage to really just about every structure, every vehicle, every single thing in town. It would appear has at least minor damage. What you're looking at right here, right now, is the main school building in Tushka. This is not minor damage. This is major damage. Don't know how well you can see through those windows, but the sunlight pouring in there is not just pouring in through the windows. It's pouring in through what used to be the ceiling, which is now completely gone. If you look through that window right there, you can see the wall, and then just beyond it, you can see blue sky because the roof was completely ripped off by the tornado. Continuing on a little further south here, you can see some heavy structure damage there to that peaked roof just beyond there. The campus here is made up of a number of different buildings that were built at different times, but that are connected. But there's apparently a safe room here inside the school building. That's where a lot of people sought shelter last night when the twister went through, and was almost a bad choice, bad selection for a shelter, because it looks like that the tornado made a direct hit, but fortunately the building's sturdy enough that apparently the safe room was able to withstand most of the damage, and everyone made it out safely, unscathed, so I'm sure they're all thankful for that. Unfortunately, though, as people may have heard, there were 2 Tushka area residents that were killed in a house just west of Tushka, outside the city limits, about 3 miles west of town. But everyone here in the town of Tushka, relatively okay. They did have 15 people that had to be hospitalized for their injuries, but so far, as of about 9 o'clock on Friday morning, the death toll still stands at 2. They don't think that will go any higher. Officials did a house-by-house search last night, looking for anyone that needed help, any other victims, anybody that might have been trapped, and they say they were able to clear all of those structures and determine that everybody was okay. But they will be back out again today, I'm sure, just double-checking, making sure that there's not anybody still out there that's injured or trapped or needing help. This shot here should give you a little bit better perspective. I see a basketball goal, so that was obviously an auditorium or gymnasium of some type. Looks like a fairly new building with metal siding, probably not quite as sturdy as, say, for example, this older brick structure just to the south of it, to the left here. But you can see this one was really mangled. This definitely would not have been the place to be when the twister roared through here. But even the brick building over here to the south sustained some heavy damage. Some of the walls actually collapsed. Probably see these cinder blocks everywhere. It takes a lot to dismantle cinder blocks like that. It will of course be up to the meteorologist to determine just how strong this twister was, but wouldn't be surprised if it winds up being, certainly I would think, at least an F2 and maybe even an F3, and maybe even, might be a little bit of a stretch, but there's an outside chance it could have been in the F4 category. But as I said, certainly a very powerful storm. We're continuing to walk south here past some of the newer buildings there, and this was probably the original structure that they said was built in the 1920s. You can see the sign there on the side of the building that reads Tushka School. Actually, don't know how you can see it on the camera, but it does say this building was built in 1918. So a little bit older, but those are usually the ones that are built the best. And even this one, see the wall there crumbled, the bricks down below suffered from some heavy damage. Still more building. You can see this one, the roof completely gone, the metal infrastructure, metal girders twisted and mangled, and this one completely leveled. This was likely the strongest part of the tornado that swept through here. This is where I've definitely seen the heaviest damage. You can see just the big piles of bricks and other debris. And that's certainly an ominous sight there. The bricks piled onto the cab of a pickup truck, completely crushing the passenger compartment. It's lucky there was nobody in there. And then just to the south, to the left over here, you see that car completely flipped over. We're hearing reports of cars flipped over everywhere, semis flipped over. Some heavy stuff, trees uprooted. It's kind of difficult really to summarize all the damage because there's just so much. Long story short, it seems like just about everything in Tushka got hit by some kind of wind damage. Naturally, there's lots of media on the scene here. Lots of TV trucks from Tulsa, Oklahoma City, the Sherman Denison Market in Texas, I think I saw. Saw at least one truck from that location. Some officials over there headed over to survey some of the damage. Here, that's probably the safe room where a lot of people went. You can see the staircase leading down, and then just beyond it, the concrete underground storm shelter with the air vents there on top. So definitely came in handy. It may have rarely been used before, may never be used again, but definitely saved some lives last night, undoubtedly.